Hello, parents and school educators. Welcome back to Pick a Book with Auntie Marcella. And this week we are continuing our look into writing with a grades K through 2 child, and we're looking at the writing to respond process, step 2. Today we're going to continue with K through 2, navigating a book with a K through 2 student. So the last time we spoke, we dealt with the outside part of the book, or the identify, the I in the writing to respond process, which is identify the title, the author, and the illustrator. The next thing we're going to do is to read. And before we read, sometimes we want to do some background knowledge. Find out from the child, what is a rodent? Well, if there was no picture, probably the child would not be able to tell that a rodent was a rat or a mouse. But now that there's a picture, they can make some educated guesses. So make sure the child understands the words that they would need to navigate through the story successfully. Then the next thing you can ask before reading is, what do you think it's about? If it says about rodents, what do you think Catherine Hill or the author is going to tell us about rodents? And so you want to make sure that you develop that background knowledge on rodents before you begin reading with your child. So this is the pre-reading aspect. So remember, the first thing we did, we selected a book based on our child's interest. Then we navigated the book, let the child understand identify the important aspects like the author, the title, and the illustrator if there is any. And now you want to go ahead and develop that background knowledge before you delve into reading. Once you've developed background knowledge, then you are about to have students listen if you are the one reading, or read. But you want to make sure that before you begin, you want that child to know that when we have finished reading, I want you to be able to tell me what the story is about. And this is the second step of the writing to respond process. We want students to be able to summarize. So summarize is not telling us the story in your own words. It is telling us the short version of the story. So you want students to be able to listen attentively. And if it's a long story, then you can go ahead and do summaries, like maybe after every 2 pages or after every 1 page or 3 pages. You know what your child's educational level is. And that's something I neglected to mention. When you're selecting books for your child, although you might know what your child's interest is, you want to make sure that the book you selected is on your child's educational level. So for example, I'm looking at this book right now. These are 1 sentence liners. If you know your child is way above 1 sentence liners, of course you're not going to pick a book that is just 1 sentence. And that's what makes the writing to respond process what it is. It is, how would I say it? It is catered, it is tailored to every child or every parent. Parent, you pick the book that is on your child's educational level. So once you've read to your child and you have gotten them to tell you the short version of your story, of this story, you can actually have them write 1 sentence. If they're not able to write sentences, you can have them write a word. If they're not yet able to write words, you can have them draw a picture that best depicts what the story is about. Do not despise a child's drawing. Drawings actually tell stories. This concludes today's session with Pick a Book with Auntie Marcella. Today we looked at step 2 of the writing to respond process. We looked at how we prepare for reading by looking at background knowledge, making sure students understand the basic things in order for them to understand the story. We looked at how we go through the reading process, and then we summarize. And then next time when we show up, we will look at the most important aspect of the writing to respond process, which is reacting. Until then, bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Budding Writers, Dr. Watts. Subscribe, like us on Facebook, look for us on Instagram, and most importantly, ask a question. If you need help or if you need clarification, go ahead and send us your question. And you can also visit us at buddingwriters.com for our resources and for any question you have whatsoever on how you can assist your child with writing. Bye-bye.